What's up, guys? Welcome back to Weekly Weird News.
Today on Weekly Weird News, a nation already crumbling apart thanks to one of the lowest birth rates on Earth isn't changing course anytime soon, and in fact, thanks to the advent of virtual reality and virtual reality porn, Japan may be doomed.
Meanwhile, here in America, freedom applies not just to American humans, but to American bald eagles, who, yes, may be opportunistic assholes, but they're our opportunistic assholes. And if we see one in trouble, you can bet your ass we're gonna load up our rifle and take care of business.
And even though we spent a solid 15 minutes of last week's episode mercilessly roasting the entire nation of Brazil and their upcoming failed Olympics, there's more news where that came from, and we'll probably just have to add a weekly Rio de Janeiro update for the rest of the summer, because everything down there is fucked.
But first, a word from our sponsor. That's right, some poor schmucks decided to advertise their product on this train wreck of a show. And that poor schmuck is Mack Weldon. Unless you're a free-balling commando, you need underwear in your life. So why are you wearing the same shitty, worn-out pair you bought from the dollar store 5 years ago, you slob? Ugh. Shame on you. Have some self-respect and order some new boxers and briefs or boxers from Mack Weldon. They're designed from the ground up to be comfortable. They're supposed to fit you right, and they breathe in all the right places. Because right now you got a stew going down there, baby. And we all love our own flavor, but if you love something, set it free.
Mack Weldon uses premium fabrics, and their premium silver line of underwear is antimicrobial, meaning that they eliminate odor while you wear them. That means they're great for working out or just sitting around watching YouTube videos like you're doing right now. And it's not just underwear either. Mack Weldon makes undershirts, socks, sweatpants, and sweatshirts with the same quality and attention to detail. Just because you're still sitting around the house in sweats and have given up on accomplish anything with your day doesn't mean that you should give up on quality and comfort.
I'm gonna get the whole set. The sweatpants, the shirt, I'm gonna be full Mack Weldon now.
Tugs logo on it.
Oh yeah, there you go. Anyways, the quality and comfort that they give you in these clothes, they're guaranteed. Mack Weldon keeps its promises, and if you order a pair of whatever and it doesn't live up to your exact standards, they'll refund you, no questions asked. And guess what? You can keep that pair of underwear because who would want it after you're done with it anyway?
That's true.
Maybe they're insane, who knows? They did sponsor Weekly Weird News, so probably.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you want to help support this show and get some awesome underwear, go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off with our promo code, which is simply NEWS, N-E-W-S. It's a great deal. Jokes aside, it really helps out our show when you guys visit our sponsors. Again, it's MackWeldon.com, promo code NEWS. You will save 20%, and now we can talk about all the weird shit that's going on in the entire world.
Yeah, so Japan is a country and society with a rich, beautiful history and culture. But for a lot of us over here in the West, it's a real enigma of a place that we mostly know through the video games and movies and anime that make their way over here from across the Pacific. Oh, and the bizarre, often sadistic game shows.
Yeah.
And all the weird sex shit,
You
which
can
is
get panties out of a vending machine.
it's hard to really know whether it's real or just an urban legend.
Don't get panties out of a vending machine. Order them from Mack Weldon.
Mack Weldon.
Anyways, it's just, you know, the Japan stuff, it doesn't really represent Japan as a whole.
Or does it?
I don't know. Yeah, tentacle porn is real. Used panties sold in vending machines, they're real, unless, you know, they're not actually used or whatever. And yes, Japan has taken the sex doll industry nearly all the way across the uncanny valley by making sex dolls that look nearly human. But they've also got those Dakimakura pillows with anime characters printed on them that grown men treat like their girlfriends, and in some cases, I think, marry. That's all barely scratching the surface of what you can find with a simple Japanese porn Google search.
And yet, on the other hand, a startlingly high percentage of Japanese young adults, roughly 33%, have zero interest in sex.
At least not real sex.
Yeah. There's plenty of theories as to why, which we're not going to get into because we don't have time.
Because all the vaginas there are blurred.
That's true.
In real
How
life.
am I supposed to get turned on by that?
Yeah, they're all, even when you see we get a girl naked in real life, it's the vaginas are all blurred. All the
blurry
Japanese
private parts over there.
Yeah.
My completely unscientific theory about the whole thing is that 33% of Japan isn't down with sex because the other 66% is just way too horny. There's no room for all of it.
Yeah.
And that's evidenced by our first story today. A Japanese virtual reality porn festival that had such high demand and was so overcrowded that the event's organizers had to shut it down and reschedule it.
Damn. This is all allegedly. So the news originates from a message board post on vrtalk.com that references a Japanese blog called 20 to 4000 that we can't read. but we're able to translate enough to find a link to adultvr.jp, the website for the event Adult VR Festa, which we also can't read. Google Translate has come a long way in the last few years, but when it comes to translating Japanese, it still just barfs up word vomit that's hard to follow.
Yeah, what's up with that? Anyways, according to the VRTalk.com blog post, and as far as we can tell from the poorly translated Japanese links that we looked at, Adult VR Festa was held on June 12th in the Akihabara neighborhood of Tokyo with an admission cost of 3,000 yen, or just under $30 US. And as possibly the first event of its kind, organizers massively underestimated how many people were going to show up for a look at the future of robo-masturbation.
Did they at least have a ball pit?
No. No, they should have gotten a ball pit. That's how you resolve events that go wrong.
Just give them a ball pit. Yeah, right there in the middle.
$10 gets you 10 extra minutes in the ball pit.
So many people showed up to this, in fact, that the lines to get in quickly became just a giant crowded mob spilling over into the street, which got so large that police had to show up and shut down the event to make the crowd disperse for the sake of public safety. Thankfully, the few lucky Japanese souls who did make it inside managed to get some pictures of just what caused all this ruckus. And it's pretty much what you'd expect.
Yeah, there were, of course, plenty of VR experiences allowing you to look at miniskirt wearing anime girls blushing and writhing around in glorious 3D. There were the usual automated fleshlight-like jack-off machines that sync up with whatever porn you're looking at through your goggles. There was a weird cardboard box thing that you stick your hands inside and it blows air on them in a way that supposedly makes it feel like you're groping female human breasts.
Like big bags of sand?
Yeah, and then there was a weird workout game where you're rewarded for using an ab roller by getting to see up a digital girl's skirt when you're fully extended.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, and of course they had blow-up dolls that you can fuck.
Okay, what place doesn't?
Yeah.
I'm excited for the future of this because everyone's gonna be able to get in shape. It's gonna be like, instead of like a carrot on a stick, it's going to be like a hot girl that wants to have sex with you, but you just keep
Only
walking on that
after you
treadmill.
do 50 push-ups.
Yeah, you do the treadmill, you do 5 miles on the treadmill, you can finally get to her
She's
house.
like encouraging you. She's like, "You're so close, baby."
Yeah, no,
So
the game will
close.
be
You're
like,
making me so wet with all that running.
you'll get hit up on your phone and it's like, hey, my parents aren't home, come over, and then you're gonna have to walk 5 miles uphill to her house, and then you get there, she's like, oh, what a mistake, I'm back at your house now. Oh, you gotta walk 5 miles back, and then you get there, but then you finally get to have sex with her, the machine just jacks you off the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, once all this tech gets integrated and you have like the Fitbit and all that shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be extremely fit humans who are overly sexually like compensated for everything, but in a purely digital way.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be the last generation on Earth.
It's great.
We're gonna go out like real strong because we're all gonna look like Herculean Greek gods
Yeah.
that have no sex drive outside of the digital world.
And maybe that's for the best. Maybe we shouldn't.
Sure.
Maybe we shouldn't bring another generation into this
I'd
hellhole.
rather have the Earth go out jacking off than bombing itself.
Yeah.
There we go.
And when the
We've
aliens
solved
find it 1,000 years from now, they're like,
They
damn,
go-
these people were in great shape.
The aliens come to Earth and they just go out to the woods and find a sticky porno mag. Damn it.
So, yeah, nothing at this convention was truly shocking, especially by Japan standards.
Yeah.
Even the fact that it got shut down because too many Japanese men showed up looking to get their virtual rocks off, not all that surprising. Doing this show for almost 2 years has kind of made shit like this mundane
Yeah.
for us. Which sucks. It's like watching too much porn.
Yeah.
You gotta keep upping the ante. With weird news, it's like, a jack-off machine? Oh.
Cool, something weird happened in
We've
Florida
done
again.
10 stories about
Yeah,
that already.
yeah.
But regardless, if you're gonna be in Tokyo in August,
Which we should start scheduling now.
the organizers of Adult VR Festa, who were reportedly weeping while apologizing to everyone who couldn't get in, they were very sorry.
They were shamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna be holding Adult VR Festa 2 for the same low price of 3,000 yen.
Hold on. Sean, can we get a budget to go to Japan for a porno VR festival?
Please.
All right.
All right, we're all gonna get laid.
We're all getting laid. Great. But enough about Japan. It's time to talk about America.
Yeah.
Because we just celebrated our 240th anniversary. And on our nation's birthday over the weekend, one Minnesota man, one Minnesota hero, showed that the 4th of July isn't just about shotgunning beers and eating poorly cooked processed meat cylinders. It's about independence. And not just independence from British tea taxes. Sometimes it's about independence from being a bird stuck in a tree.
Not just any bird either. America's bird, the bald eagle, who Sure, we haven't been all too kind to recently on the show after discovering that they actually aren't the badass birds we were taught to believe, but are actually opportunistic jerks who steal from other harder working birds.
Well, the geese are pricks, though.
They're all assholes.
Yeah.
Fuck all the birds.
Birds are garbage. They're like, they're what dinosaurs evolved into.
Yeah.
So you can see how they're dicks.
But the bald eagle's still our bird, damn it.
Yeah.
So when Jason Galvin of Minnesota spotted a young bald eagle stuck hanging from a tree, tangled in some rope, while driving on a dirt road near Rush City, Minnesota, on his way to get some bait for some holiday weekend dock fishing, he knew it had to be done.
And that was to pull over, get out his .22 caliber rifle, and shoot 150 rounds at the branch that the eagle was stuck to get it to fall down off the tree so they could free the bird.
Woo!
Duh! And that's what he did. America! Woo! So, okay, yeah, there's a few other important details of this story. Now, first off, he and his wife first pulled over and talked to some other people nearby to learn that the eagle had been stuck hanging already for a few days. Secondly, Jason's wife, Jackie, started calling around to police, the fire department, and wildlife officials, all of whom were aware of the situation but said the eagle was stuck too high up for them to be able to do anything about it.
And then, of course, there's the fact that Jason Galvin here is an Army veteran who served 2 tours in Afghanistan and knows his way around a rifle. And that he got permission from a police officer who was present to go ahead with his plan.
Sure.
And because of the accuracy needed to pull it off, especially under windy conditions, the process took about 90 minutes. But it actually worked. The eagle's fall was broken by several tree branches on the way down, and it's apparently doing well at a recovery center.
Yeah.
When he was speaking to local NBC affiliate KARE11, Jason Galvin, the American hero, he told them, 4th of July, you know, it's our bird. I can't let it sit there.
So I'll spend 90 minutes shooting nearby till it breaks the branch
Gotta
off.
save that bird.
Yeah.
It's America's bird. It's my bird.
Anyways, to further demonstrate that bald eagles are all about freedom, during our LA Dodgers game against the Baltimore Orioles, another bird, the Oriole, on July 4th, they had a handler from the LA Zoo come out before the game with 2 of the zoo's bald eagles, who were released to soar around the stadium while America the Beautiful played over the loudspeakers. It was a beautiful, patriotic image. But one of the 2 eagles apparently spent his time in the air realizing the irony of being a caged zoo animal on Independence Day and just refused to return to his trainer.
Yeah, and then eventually, after taking a few more freedom laps,
Yeah.
he was heard saying, Caw, fuck this shit, bro, I'm out of here, fuck you! And then he just flew right out of one of the stadium's side gates to freedom.
Yeah.
Everyone cheered. It was great, because they didn't know if it was planned or not. But
Yeah,
it
they're like,
wasn't.
how beautiful. How beautiful.
So this sucks for the LA Zoo and the handler, but it's really a great 4th of July image. I can't really say how easily a wild bald eagle would survive in Los Angeles.
Especially with all the illegal fireworks going on.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, it didn't take the eagle very long to gaze upon the smoggy urban wasteland that he escaped to and decide that maybe life was better in bird prison.
Yeah.
So, according to the LA Zoo, he was found later just chilling on his handler's car in the Dodger Stadium parking lot.
Probably had a bunch of like bird feed in the back, bunch of dead rats in the
Surrounded by empties.
Yeah. And the bird just passed out with a
Tailgate.
giant gut, just like, I ate too many rat carcasses.
I thought America was about freedom, but it's actually about getting drunk in the parking lot of sporting events.
Yeah, exactly. And then someone from San Francisco beat the shit out of the bird from being from LA.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think it was actually vice versa. I think the LA people beat the shit out of the San Francisco
Yeah,
guy.
that's what happened.
That's what it was. The bird was a transplant, obviously.
Anyway, this is all according to the LA Zoo. They claim they found him after the game, but they didn't
Yeah,
show
we
any,
found him.
They didn't show any pictures, so I don't know.
We found him.
Yeah, oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
But if you do see an eagle,
just please report it.
we're always looking for more eagles to bring to the zoo. It's not this eagle, but you know,
Yeah, if you
always
see
room
any-
for another eagle.
Yeah, if he has like a keychain on him that says LA Zoo, please turn him in. Send him to the LA Dodgers Stadium, lost and found. And finally, before we get into headlines, we've got a quick update to our Rio de Janeiro Olympics report from last week, which, by the way, was universally praised by Brazilians who watched it and said that our Friars Club roast of the entire nation of Brazil barely even scratched the surface of how bad everything actually is there right now. So there you go.
Yeah, so we told you all about the fact that Rio's beaches, particularly Guanabara Bay, where several water events will be held, are basically raw sewage dumps at this point. But results from a new study by researchers at the Rio Federal University, who studied Rio's water over the last few years, show that the water is full of what they're calling a drug-resistant superbacteria. And the simple reason is that not only is Rio's sewage system wildly inaccurate for accommodating 12 million people's piss and shit, it's also been flooding the waters of Rio with medical waste from all of the various local hospitals for God knows how long.
So basically, people get sick. They go to the hospital to get better, and then the hospitals dispose of all of their unsanitary supplies, which go straight into Rio's open waters where they breed and evolve and infect people dumb enough to swim in them. Those people then go to the hospital to get their infections looked at, with the whole process starting over again. Over time, it creates a stronger and more antibiotic-resistant strain of bacteria, and that's what they have now. Congratulations. Yeah. They've made a superbug.
Yeah, it's like breeding dogs, except you're breeding horrifying diseases.
Yes.
And you didn't even have to try. The whole thing was not trying.
You're still spitting in God's face.
Yeah, so this is all happening while Rio's water utility company has received billions of dollars over the last few years specifically to improve sanitation and clean the water.
Huh.
I guess they're gonna need a few billion more.
Yeah.
But for athletes who have to actually compete in Guanabara Bay next month, specifically the U.S. rowing team, time is of the essence. They can't wait around for that to get fixed. So lucky for them, textile engineers at Philadelphia University have developed seamless antimicrobial uniforms for them to wear while they row through diseased sewage.
Oh, I love how technology is invented to solve problems like this.
They should pick up some Mack Weldons too,
yeah,
by the way.
there
Those
you
are
go.
also
They're very
antimicrobial.
It's still probably not enough since the suits don't cover the athletes' entire bodies. They'd have to be covered head to toe if they wanted to ensure that not only they'd be protected from water touching their skin, but also getting their eyes, or God forbid, in their mouths, or simply breathing in the moist air above the water that is also totally unsanitary. If you want to see what coming into contact with this water can do to your skin, well, first off, you don't want to see it. But secondly, here's the leg of German Olympic sailor Eric Heil, who got sick after coming home from a test race last year. Don't worry, guys. They removed the infection, as you can see. It was on the part of his leg where the hole is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now he's
it's
got a fun
fine.
little hole on his leg.
Yeah.
Can hide,
Yeah,
hide his weed in there.
You gotta dress up like you're going to a crime scene to be able to compete in any water sport.
Like Dexter. You gotta Dexterfy the whole country. The whole country. Just put a big fucking drop cloth on the entire city of
I
Rio.
don't see why they don't just move it to at least the water events to any other part of Brazil that has somewhat cleaner water.
Yeah. I
It's
don't know.
not that
At
hard.
this point, it's just a point of pride. They don't want to admit that it's going to fail.
So they're just gonna wait for something terrible to happen?
Even over the weekend, the mayor of Rio threw a bunch of shade at the state of Rio. He said, like, this whole thing's fucked, basically.
Yeah.
And it's not our fault because they're all throwing blame around.
They're passing
It's like,
around.
Last time it was the governor of the state of Rio blaming the federal government and begging for more money, and this time it's the city of Rio blaming the state, and everyone's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great Olympics, everyone. But let's get into headlines, because it's a great part of the show, because these headlines, they're all real.
They write themselves.
They write themselves, or local papers
Local
have a
papers,
ball writing these
Yeah,
headlines.
like, yes, I finally. I have my creative writing degree can finally get put to use at this local news station.
Take that, Mom. You said my liberal arts degree wouldn't amount to anything, and now I get to write funny headlines for the local paper.
And here's a great 4th of July headline. Iowa man jailed for shooting fireworks because this is America.
And the story behind this is actually a lot better than the headline would have you believe.
The headline doesn't even tell half the story.
No, okay, so the guy was actually lighting off fireworks at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Because it's America.
Because it's America, he can do whatever he wants, it's a free country. So the cops came, they're like, please, just, can you stop lighting off
They're
fireworks?
illegal.
They're illegal, first of all.
But
and at 4 o'clock in the morning, just stop.
just don't make us come back.
And so what happened
They got
next?
like 10 minutes away, and they were already getting calls to come back because he's like, cops are gone, party on. Went outside and just started lighting off more fireworks. And they got back there, and he saw them coming up with their lights flashing, so he went outside like with a lighter in one hand and a firework in the other hand. He was like, what? I thought this was America, I can't.
And they're like, we'll arrest you if you do that.
He's like,
and he
well.
said, he was like, if I'm arrested, when I get out, I'm gonna light a firework with a blunt hanging out of my mouth because this is America.
Yeah.
The man is, he's honestly, he's a hero.
Yeah. He doesn't understand
Unless
laws.
you're his neighbor.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand what laws are, because he was definitely in a part of the country where marijuana is not legal.
I'm pretty sure it's the death penalty in Iowa.
Yeah. So, if he was smoking corn, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
They love corn.
Have they figured out how to weaponize corn into drugs?
Well, they take the corn silos and they turn them into ICBM storage containers.
Yeah. I guess ethanol's
It's a fuel.
You can drink corn alcohol. It's not very good, but you can drink it.
Oh, moonshine's good. That's like some kind of corn alcohol, right?
Yeah.
It'll all get you drunk. And this guy probably was drunk because it's America.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's
course.
fine.
Next headline. Teacher who wanted to get baked with hot students losing job.
Aw.
I just love the quotes there.
Yeah.
And this guy's like 35 too. So.
Oh, it's a guy teacher.
Yeah.
So he will lose his job, but no jail time?
No, because he didn't actually fuck any of the students.
He just said that he wanted to.
He sent a lot of creepy text messages to them.
Oh, we should get them and
He's
put them on a new show of Creepy
Like,
Text
hey,
Theater.
saw you in the hall. Like,
You wanna get baked?
I always thought you were pretty hot. You should come by and get baked, but just the two of us.
Yeah. But it turns out that he was a home ec teacher and he was actually talking about learning how to bake food, so it's completely on the level.
Yeah.
Did you put the story in here about the mom playing Naked Twister?
No, it pissed me off too much.
Yeah.
Women get...
Don't say it!
I'm not...
Yeah, she got off with probation.
Women get in less trouble than men when it comes to statutory offenses. And
Yeah.
there's a pattern there, and it's kind of ridiculous. This woman
She
fucked a bunch of kids.
Well, okay, so the legal age of consent there was 16. So she had sex with her daughter's 16-year-old boyfriend, an 18-year-old at the party, got them drunk and smoked weed with them and played Naked Twister with them, and was dildoing herself in the living room for all of them.
So what's the crime then?
I don't know, but she got probation.
Giving him alcohol?
Yeah,
That's the bad thing she did?
Yeah. But you could see where if it was a 40-year-old man getting girls drunk and high and jerking himself off in front of them,
Playing
that it
Naked Twister?
might be a bit of a different story for the outcome in the courts.
Yeah. Just feel bad for her daughter.
Yeah.
She got snaked by her own mom.
I know, and you have to live with that forever. And the mom was like, yeah, I'm gonna be going to church a lot more. That was like what she said. She's like, I'm gonna get pastoral guidance. Like,
Okay, lady.
yeah. And she was in Alcoholics Anonymous at the time that it happened.
She's not anonymous anymore.
Yeah. She's just an alcoholic. Woman goes for leg operation, gets new anus instead. Was it a new version of an anus in her current anus
It was
location?
an anus transplant. They took out her anus and gave her a fresh anus.
Fresh anus?
Yeah, I don't know if it was like a baby's anus, but
I don't know if it
they
was...
got her mixed up with another patient. This other patient...
Which happens all the time in comedy movies.
Yeah.
they just switch those the clipboards out in the front of the bed. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, you wake up with a new asshole.
Yeah, she needed a new leg, or she needed surgery on her leg.
Well,
or
now
something.
she gets both, probably, right?
But yeah, I mean,
Are they gonna take the asshole back?
The article is very brief. It didn't say whether or not she likes the new asshole, but like, I feel like getting a brand new asshole would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Mine's
back
all
at it,
used
baby.
up.
Yeah.
I've been using it for 32 years.
People pay good money to get their assholes bleached just
Yeah.
from like a lifetime of pooping out of it. So like, this is a fresh asshole.
Yeah. And I'm sure that once the confusion got settled, the leg transplant and all that was probably successful as well. And so you get a new asshole. It's fine. They get the labia surgery too, right? I've heard about
Which
that
one is
cosmetic. The cosmetic surgery, if like you're too lippy, you can like have them trimmed or whatever.
You can.
You can. It's a thing.
Doctors
You
can
can
do
also get a
amazing
new
things.
asshole.
Yeah, you can get a
apparently.
new asshole.
Yeah.
You can probably have them switch the asshole and the labia's places. You can like.
My husband keeps accidentally fucking me in the ass.
Switch it
Can
up.
you just switch it up? Yeah, perfect.
They'll do it. Dallas Mavericks Perry Ellis gets sponsorship deal with Perry Ellis Clothing Company.
That's not as much an odd headline as it is just like personal self-fulfillment by the universe. Like, how does that not happen? It would be a very dumb move to not have Perry Ellis sponsor Perry Ellis.
And it's great for him too, because he's not really on the Dallas Mavericks. He's on the summer league team, and I don't.
Whoa, Elliot. Okay.
He's not a real basketball player.
He's in the. It's like if you were in the arena football league.
But yeah, this guy, I don't know if he got drafted. I think he might not have. But all the sports websites and blogs were going after him because they're like, Perry Ellis looks like an old man.
Yeah.
And he does. He's 22 and he looks like he's 40.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's that about, but they were going after him pretty hard. So it's nice that Perry Ellis is finally getting something good in his life. You know?
As far as I know, which I don't really have any knowledge of the Perry Ellis brand. I think it is for older men, right?
I think it's like men's business casual. I don't know. I've never bought anything from there.
But I will now,
I will.
because I love Mark Cuban, and he owns the Mavericks.
Oh yeah.
So if I jump through enough hula hoops in my brain, I'm a Perry Ellis fan.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, Pounded by the Pound. Brexit inspires its first erotic novel.
Yeah, it's
It's about Nigel and what's his Boris having sex with each other.
no, unfortunately not. It's more of a
Boris is Johnson.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
I'm sure the live action porn will happen, but this is more of a fantasy erotica novel. It's about a young British man who meets a life-size British pound coin who has a face, arms, legs, and a giant dick. And the pound does like a Charles Dickens thing where it takes him into the future to show Britain, it's like falling apart. And
But the whole time he's just getting really turned on by its big dong.
so the coin turns him gay.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, I used to be into chicks, but I love this pound.
Yeah.
And then they fuck. And so the
So
guy...
the pound is the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
The guy who wrote it, he writes 4 erotic novels a month.
Oh, good.
He's prolific. He said he wrote this one in 7 hours on the night of Brexit. So he was inspired.
Well, I mean, if you gotta like strike while the iron's hot, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
cool. Speaking of Britain, Utah man may be the true heir to the British throne.
oh, man, I wish they had any kind of political control, because it'd be great if that guy was like, you know what? From Utah, you know what? We're going back. We're bringing that shit back. We're gonna bring the European Union back. Yeah.
Well, even the actual.
Is he also related
royal family.
to what's his name?
John Goodman from the movie
No.
King Ron?
No.
So that's the plot of that was.
Yeah. No, it's what's his name? The fucking guy that had like 40 wives and
Joseph Smith? He is a...
Joseph Smith and then Brigham Young.
Brigham Young.
Yeah.
So this guy, he is an ex-Mormon. He left the church because he's gay.
And he loves coffee.
Loves coffee. They didn't let him drink coffee because it's the devil's bean juice.
You can't really drink tea either. So if he is British royalty.
No stimulants, nothing. But yeah, so apparently there's some truth to it, but not really. He's like the descendant of someone that one of the kings had an affair with like 100 years ago. He said like his grandpa pulled him aside when he was 13. He's like, grandson, we could have been kings. And told him this whole story.
Did he do the DNA test online?
No, but he said he
So
reached...
it's just hearsay.
Well, he went on Facebook and found
okay.
people like who had the same name as him across the world and would message them and be like, hey, has anyone in your family ever told you this story? And he said that every single one of them was like, yeah, my grandpa like pulled me aside when I was a teenager and said, grandson, we could have been kings.
I mean, I love the story.
Yeah.
All it takes is like them doing a very simple DNA test to actually get to the
How are you
bottom
gonna
of
find king DNA?
Well, you can find it.
Let's do a little cheek swab on the grave
It's not
of
like
the
they
fucking
didn't.
king?
Yeah, it's not like they didn't keep that. If you can get like the DNA from like King Tut, you can get the DNA from King Philanderer.
King Lear.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That's
Yeah.
what. Oh, by the way, Nigel's name in the porno is Nigel Philanderer.
Like that.
Yeah. We're gonna make a porno.
Yeah.
Not us, but we're gonna write and direct it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're gonna need some wigs.
Yeah.
At least one wig.
Yeah. Anyways.
Cat blamed for turning on faucet, flooding Florida shelter. Has you have cats? Have they ever turned on the faucet?
No, but they do love drinking water out of it. So maybe they got like desperate enough, or that cat got desperate enough to turn it on.
All right, get a little sip. All right, my work here's done. And then it just keeps running. Like people that do that I've seen humans do that at public restrooms where
They just walk away and the thing's still
someone
running?
else will use it. This was too much work. Also, I'm gonna pee all over this toilet seat because using my foot to make the
not
seat
mine.
go up is too much work, and
Yeah.
I'm done with it. So fuck the
Fuck
rest.
everyone else.
Yes, this sounds like a very selfish cat.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was flooding for like
Did
7.
it kill any of the other cats? Like, did they drown?
No, it just sort of damaged the shelter because it was running for like a whole day before they noticed it.
It's a real shame because those shelters, they need all the help they can get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Donate
should
to
adopt.
your shelter, local shelter. Thick, putrid algae bloom overwhelms miles of Florida coastline, which is so sad. There's a video online of a guy pouring bottles of clean water onto a manatee who's stuck in it.
Oh,
It's really, really sad. and it's
manatee's stuck in the
disgusting.
sludge.
Yeah. We should learn from Brazil's mistakes. We should get this cleaned up sooner rather than later.
So like the Army Corps of Engineers or whoever's handling this, they said that like it's bad right now, but if they hadn't like drained Lake Okeechobee or whatever, it would have gotten worse. So this is like a temporary setback, but everything's gonna be fine.
Okay.
But there's like fucking aerial footage of it, and it is
Oh, it's disgusting.
disgusting.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Taking up like an entire part of the coastline.
There used to be like every year when I lived there would be red tide every year. I knew this as a kid, but I never realized like why or how it happened. Don't know if it's the same thing, but I remember like dead fish would be washing up. Every year they would have the red tide. You wouldn't be allowed to go to the beach then, and
That's
but
when the
this is,
ocean
like-
has its period, right?
Yeah, I think
red
so.
Tide.
Yeah, red tide every year. Gets really angry. All the hurricanes happen.
Yeah.
Sad.
Time Incorporated CEO says, I hadn't even gone to the MySpace website before we bought the company, but it's a pretty good website.
So, what is it with these big conglomerates buying up just garbage, worthless sites?
Well, I think at the time, that was when, like,
No, because Fox, the people who own Fox bought it. News Corp bought it when it was worth a lot of money. And then Justin Timberlake, like, relaunched it.
Timberlake has it now, I think.
Okay, has it now.
So Time bought it in like 2011. They said like they didn't buy it for the website itself. They bought it for like the data analytics or some shit.
Well, because it still had all of the analytics about all of its users at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess it was worth something.
And final headline.
Yeah.
I love this so much. Jockey kicked in face by horse, then run over by ambulance.
It's a Looney Tunes sketch that played out perfectly, and luckily the guy didn't die.
No, but he got kicked in the face by a horse, and then the ambulance on the fucking racetrack came up, and they somehow ran over his leg and just completely shattered his leg.
And then they put him on the gurney,
What?
and loaded him into the ambulance. Forgot to shut the back door, and then gunned it. And he fell out again. And then they backed over him again, and then the horse came over and peed on him.
Dude, I was at some restaurant. They were playing like old Buster Keaton silent films.
Yeah.
And that shit is art.
Yeah.
There's some of the
slapstick.
best fucking visual comedy ever, and it was 100 years ago.
Yeah, we need more of it.
We need more silent films. Bring back silent films.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, also this guy.
We need to convince the Daniels to do a Looney Tunes, not a Looney Tunes live action movie, but something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, where you get smashed into an accordion.
Like The Mask.
Yeah, but that was still like, that was meant to look like a cartoon, where he literally turned into a wolf.
Yeah.
But
True.
yeah, we'll get him to reboot The Mask,
Yeah.
starring.
We need swing music to come back.
Yeah, remember when it came back in the '90s? Big
For
band.
about a year.
Yeah, but in our Mask, we'll get Rocky Dennis to play it, but it won't have anything to do with deformity. It'll just be like the '90s Mask.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And get Eric Stoltz in there too. He also played The
But then
Mask.
fire him 3 weeks into the production. Poor Eric Stoltz. Anyways, watch our other content over here. We had a humdinger of a Tech Tuesday yesterday that was almost as long as this episode, if not longer. Mainly about how Apple and Spotify are just
frenemies.
Yeah. It's weird. They have a really weird relationship.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tidal's just wishing they could get in on anything, and they might, because Apple is... At this point, how do you not just get rid of Tidal and consider it a loss as a businessman?
As long as they can get more money out of it.
I don't think they can. I don't think that it's even valued at that much. Who knows? Well. Anyways, all that is over there on Tech Tuesday. Then we have news about how the new Power Rangers movie is apparently going to be pretty fucking dark, according to...
Haim Saban.
Not according to Haim Saban. According to Heisenberg.
Bryan Cranston.
And then, of course, we have a podcast that we did with Maddox, King of the Internet. So go over there and watch all those. And we love you. Subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Get your Mac Weldons.